Hello? Yeah, you can hear me? I don't know what happened there. I'm really, really sorry. It wouldn't let me like enter this. It was weird. We're there now though. Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Sorry, I don't know what the hell happened there. Although my system did like boot while so yeah, I've had to just jump out and back in. I was just saying, yes, proper footy is back now, you know. Exciting times, isn't it? Because we can now focus on some actual football for the next few weeks, which is a very good thing. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. A few little injury woes, well, one major injury woe, one positive, if you can see it as a positive. Bamford's back in full team training. Happy days. And Dan James is going to be out the other international break now, and I think how many games have we got between now and then? I think that's like another 4 games, is it? I think we've got another 4 in September. So yeah, another 4 games. Loads for us to go through though. Not least, we'll start with Liam Cooper, of course. Listen, I don't want to speak too much on Liam Cooper, and I don't think Daniel Farke's sick to the back teeth of it. What I do want to do though is talk about this bloody announcement video. Have you seen the announcement video yet at CSKA Sofia? I'm going to play you a little bit of it. Hopefully it won't get copy struck. I don't think it will, but like it's had me in stitches. I can't lie to you. This is it here. I'm just going to... Oh, you can't even see it yet. Wait. I've not added it yet. Wait, I just need to get that. Right, we're ready. Are we ready? Are we ready for anyone who hasn't seen it?
Iconic. Cooper. Liam Cooper.
Oh, you missed this bit as well. Like, wait.
Cooper. Here to switch gears.
I'm sorry, he's killed me off because it's like this person going in this like Mini Cooper. I mean, to be, I get the name and that, but is that a car to be like likened to when you're ready to announce your welcome, Cooper, Liam Cooper, iconic, like the Cooper car. It's brilliant. It's proper made me chuckle. I can't lie, I must have watched it about 4 or 5 times. So yeah, it was Cooper, Liam Cooper, iconic. So yeah, but he's like this on the Cooper. Yeah, wagwan on the Cooper. So yeah, it's a fun little video that crazy stuff. But the only gear Cooper has now is reverse. Sean, come on now, he's your club legend. He's not here anymore. Let's show him the love that he deserves. Rest in peace to Bob as well. I just want to say that I'm seeing that news today. The young Leeds fan that there was that lovely little heartwarming vid that was done with Ilya Melier not too long ago, and Farke obviously speaking with him and whatnot, and he's passed away. So sending condolences to Bob's family and to the Leeds United fan base that'll be affected by that for sure. So that's a sad times. But yeah, Liam Cooper obviously left. We spoke about that yesterday. I don't know, like what we're expecting in terms of Liam Cooper now. Like, I think it's gone. Too much time's passed. Like, I know that might sound mad to some, but I almost feel like too much time has passed. So therefore, I don't know if we need to. Do we need to do anything anymore? I don't think so. You know, it was the same with Bill, I guess. He'll come back at some point, but I don't think there'll be any sort of fanfare or anything like that. Maybe he'll go into the Peacock a bit like Bill did or something. I don't know, but I think that time's passed now. Parag did a video, did he? Finally showed his face, stood his put his head above the parapet and all that. So, not too asked on that. Andrew says, "Thought this was about Farke." What was about Farke? The press conference reaction. It is. What's your point? So yeah, we're discussing the way this video works, boys. You know, and there's a press conference, and then we react to what's been said in the press conference. Yeah. I don't know what you're about, Andrew. Anyway, he was asked about Liam Cooper, and he said, "Look, I've spoken so much about Liam in the past. It's now officially announced. I've nothing to add, and I think it's the same for all of us, really, as well. Like it, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like too much water under the bridge, is it? Too much time has passed. Like someone said, it's 3 months. I think it'll just get left alone a little bit now. But he said, look, it was a pleasure and a privilege to be his manager. I've also played several times against him in his prime. He's a fantastic footballer, fantastic human being. He's a real club legend, what he's done in the last decade. Second to none. It's very... it won't happen again. I don't think we'll get a player that will play 10 years at a football club. I'm just seeing Locks in the chat there. Big up to Locks. And I think, 10 years, Jamie Vardy, you know, they don't come around. I'm assuming it'll be 10 years. Yeah, of course it will. But they don't come around often, footballers that are at your football club for a decade. It's a long time. It's a long time in football. He said he's a fantastic footballer, fantastic human being. He's a real club legend. What he's done in the last decade, it's second to none. He lives on our mantra, side before self. He will always be with us in our hearts. From the bottom of my heart, I wish him all the best. And I think that's it. 12 years there for Vardy. See, he said on honouring Cooper, and this is where my head's at as well. Like he said, it's not up to me to announce it in a press conference. When there is something, the club will speak about it. I don't know what that will be. Maybe at the end of the season they will do a testimonial. It will be cool. It will be cool. Be a game that I'll definitely go for. But he said we made sure he had the best possible farewell within the group, and it's good he finished with a strong season last season, 90 points. One sec. There's that 90-point trophy. He was still unbelievably important in our group. Whenever you need him to help on the pitch, he was always there, and I could always count on him. And I think we could always count on him as well. Yeah, good to see Matt as well. For Normal Football's back. We've got White Rose Rivals at 6 o'clock as well. Proper football being back, so we can talk with our Yorkshire counterparts and see what their thoughts are ahead of the weekend. Obviously, we've had the international breaks. Terrible, horrible time. Farke spoke on the internationals. Big up Evie, haven't seen you for a while. I hope you had a nice holiday. She said, if we get promoted, there will be a testimonial for all the promotion group. I bet money on it. There you go. How much would you be willing to bet on it? But it would be nice at the end of the month. At the end of the season, if we did do something like that, I think it'd be cool. So Farke on internationals, he said it was more or less 13 players that were away for us. Obviously, we had youth as well, or even like youth internationals. I feel like they shouldn't be I don't know. I just hate international football. Them's the facts. So I think should they, because like Willie was there with the under-19s or whatever it was, or under-21s, and Charlie Crew, but then actually he got announced to the first team. It's all these things where I just think, does everybody need to go? But yeah, we had 13 players that were away. He said the first week was tricky because we only had 8 players for first team training. So it must be so hard. Like 8 players just kicking around the place. The lads were coming back on Tuesday. We trained with 10 outfield players. We still had a few had recovery session today. There'll be some late decisions as there were some small injuries. Big question mark behind Voba. He returned with a meniscus problem. So we've got a late decision with him. I've seen some crazy links over the last 24 to 48 hours. I'm not taking any credence to them whatsoever. And I'm not going to speak on them, really. I got tagged in a few things and I was like, yeah. It would be... Well, I'm speaking on it now, but I don't think there's any validity to it. But from a optics standpoint, especially considering the summer that we've just had with the ownership, nah, they won't. They're not that. They're not stupid. I'm telling you now, not a chance. So late decision with him. So he's picked up an injury. I don't think he played in the second game. Also, some bad news with Dan James. He had a re-injury during his rehab, which is disappointing. Sadly, it's even worse than before. So he's out for 4 weeks. So he said he'll probably be back after the next international break. So that's 4 weeks without Dan James, which is a massive loss. Look, you know, I'm not his biggest fan, but it is still a massive loss from this side. I actually feel sorry for Dan James as well, because if you remember, he was starting for us last season. He gets injured. Nonto gets back in. and then he couldn't get really back in. And then he came on in the playoff final, and we were all like, oh well, he should have been starting, because it's easy with hindsight and all that jazz. But he couldn't get back in, and I feel that if Leeds United go as I expect them to go and start to pick up pace, he's going to struggle to get back in a game. And it is like Carlos says here. I think it's as long as, because look at it, the minute while everyone's fit and based on the previous performance, you're looking at Solomon, Aronson, and Nonto. Then you've got Ramazani there as well, so he could also play there. So I think he could struggle to get back in. So yeah, it's disappointing for him. But yeah, it looks like we'll see him on the other side of the international break. So I think, like we say, we have one in October and we have one in November, don't we? And then they don't happen again until March, I don't think. So these months are brutal. But yeah, 4 more games, I think, or maybe 3, and then another international break. I think it's 4 actually. It takes into October and then another 14 days between games. But yeah, that 3 behind Joseph played really well against Hull City. So I'd expect that to be the same anyway. And you'd imagine that in 4 weeks' time, that front 4 will have played together more. So it'll be even harder for him to get back in, So I think that'll be a different one. I don't know what. Sorry. 5 games before international break. Is that there's another 5 games before the next one? Is that what we're saying, Jack? Dan James is a big threat off the bench. Once he's fit, he will get back in, I reckon, for a bench option. Yeah, well, yeah, he would be a bench option, yeah. But I just think it's going to be difficult for him. Do you know what I mean? I think because he was a starter. He was a starter and playing pretty well, wasn't he? These are the next games. There we go. Burnley, Cardiff, Coventry, Leeds, Leeds playing ourselves. Dan James is injured, Spartan. Dan James is injured for another 4 weeks. There was just another comment that I wanted to bring up there. That was it. Jamie. We all know Jamie. He's here every week. Jamie hasn't been here for a while because he has had a baby. So I just want to congratulate Jamie LUFC, who's a regular watcher, regular contributor to the channel as well. And I know you all have spoke with him. So yeah, please send love to Jamie. There you go. Boom. So Farke on internationals. Bad news with Dan James. He had a re-injury during his rehab. Sadly, it's worse than before. He's out for 4 weeks. Yeah, congratulations. Great to see love for him in there. Right, okay. Let's talk on Bamford. Bamford is back. Patrick has been involved in team training since Tuesday. We will still be careful with him. He's not ready to play 90 minutes. It's good he's back in training. He will be important during the season. He still will have a part to play at Leeds United. Look, would I have preferred us to go and get some? Definitely. Would I have liked us to have another option off the bench instead of him? Yes. But ultimately, yeah, I do think these new contract claims are unfounded. These contract claims are massively unfounded because it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever to give him a new deal. Like, I don't know where it's come from, to be honest. Well, I did see where it's come from, but it was a bit like, meh. But anyway, we don't need to do that. But he's back involved in team training since last Tuesday, so we'll still be careful with him. But he's not ready yet to play 90 minutes, which we understand him. Nor would we expect him to, right? We're not expecting him to play 90 minutes. I don't think any of us want him to play 90 minutes. Even those that massively back him wouldn't want him to be starting 90 minutes because you've got Mateo Joseph. So, so it's good he's back in training and he will be important during the season. And this is where we have to think about, like, there will be times where maybe well, God forbid, but if Matteo got injured or we needed someone to, he wasn't scoring, needed someone with a bit of experience, even off the bench, and although to be fair, his impact from the bench isn't, his impact off the bench it's never been that great. I can only think of one moment, and that was Brentford, and then he got injured, didn't he, celebrating? But yeah, top banana. I don't think any of us are saying that he makes the team. I think that's the important thing, that I don't think any of us believe that he does make the team, but it is an option that we would have off the bench that would be used for sure. Because we've seen in recent times, like Farke, when he brought on Pirro, he left Joseph on. There could be situations like that where we have sort of like two attackers. I know Pirro's more seen as sort of a second striker, 10 under Farke, but we did have two attackers on for a while before he brought on Schmidt, I think it was, in the end. So, yeah. Farke was then speaking on preparation during the international break, and he said you can't work with the team tactically. Obviously disappointing because Mana Solomon and Tanaka left immediately. I don't think Tanaka played all that much, if I remember seeing some of your comments, but I know Solomon played a hell of a lot. I think he played in the 10 in one of the games, but he did play a hell of a lot of football. When I had a look at Israel's 2 games, one of them was against Italy. I can't remember the other one. But he played 80 minutes in one and then the full 90 in the other. But that's good, I guess, in terms of his fitness, because everyone said he was injured and all that sort of stuff. I don't know about Al. I don't think he played all that much, though. There you go. Look, he only played 25 minutes. That's a result. That's a result for us. Michael just quickly says, Joe, who is to say James will just, it should be dependent on form if the new sign. Well, of course. Yeah. But no one's saying, what we're saying is he will find it hard to get back into the side if they are performing. Of course, Michael. That's a given. That's a given what you've just put. Of course, if he came back and they were performing, he goes in. But I think the point we're making is it could all be a scenario where we're performing that well, we've gone on a run, then he's going to struggle to get back into the side. That was the point. Bamford needs to be moved on ASAP, but he's on a very good overpaid contract until summer 2027. Yeah, you can't, unfortunately, were they right to give him, and again, I will always say this, were they right to give him the contract at the time? Yes. Anyone who tells you no, I think, no, they're not being genuine, because you have to assess where we were. We'd finished 9th. He'd got an England call-up. He'd scored 17 goals. He was wanted by Spurs as a backup to Kane, all this sort of stuff. So it was right to give him a contract. Obviously, no one could foresee how many injuries he would get, the drop-offs in form, but Bamford will just see his tenure out at Leeds United. That's all that will happen. He won't be offered a new deal. I can't see anyone taking him. So you'll just see out his days. Yes, again, but he still scored it. He still scored it. So, right, okay. So Farke on preparation during the international break. So he couldn't work with the team tactically. I disagree, Sean, because that is where his stock was at its highest and he had potential suitors. Had we have left it for another year, for example, he could have gone. But yeah, it was the right deal. I think most clubs, I know it's easy with hindsight now to be critical and all that sort of stuff. I think you do too much when you go back and you say, oh, well, it wasn't one good season, though. He'd scored goals before and stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, we don't have to do that, do we? We don't have to do that. I don't think you stuck till the end then, did you? I don't think he spoke down Tanaka at all. If anything, he spoke him right up. And we'll get to that in a bit. So stay tuned, Michael, because I don't think you listened to all of it, did you? So we'll definitely yeah, we'll get into that. So he said it's not easy or great that they've had to leave. He said Isaac Smith has just got to know the team right now. You have a bit more time for individual work. That works tactically. It's a bit tricky because you can only train with them in one session, which will be tomorrow when everyone's back. So it's tricky to prepare them really for the first game after the international break. You literally have just 1 or 2 days. It's a good problem to have, though. We don't complain. This is the thing, isn't it? It's great having such great players, but yeah, this is a cross you have to bear by having these players that, you know, they are gonna be internationals and you are gonna lose them at time, which means that you might suffer. But hey ho, I just think that with the lineup at the weekend, we'll probably go with the same lineup that we did last time and just expect them to do the same things. Like it is cool. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, we move. Farke on the window reflection. I think he was asked by, I can't remember actually. No, yeah. Because we know he'd said a few things after the last game, didn't he, about the 10 and stuff. So I thought he might get asked on this. And we're still waiting for Angus to do his bit with the square ball, which will be good. For sure. And I will react to that, obviously, based on what he says. So, Farke on window reflection, he says, for me, there is no time to reflect within the recruitment team. There is time in order to speak about the process. But for me, it's not like the end of August. I can reflect, or 2 weeks. The proper work begins to integrate the new lads. Players like Mano, Au, Largy, Isaac, it's important they get integrated. We had many individual talks and scenes of our games and our principles. There's not much time for reflection. It's more like hard work is going on. It's good now that rumours are done. I think we're all happy, right? That you know, it's done. It's done. Is this true? Is this true? Is it really? I did not know this, you know. I did not know this. Are you sure? Unless it's been on one of the latest shows that I've missed. Dan put it on Wacko sort of screenshot. Oh, right, okay, maybe. I thought we might have seen something in the group chat. I'll have to have a quick look. I'm not sure. I have to wait and see. Do a watch along. I don't know if you can do a watch along. I just listen back to it. Joe, do a live watch along, Joe, like the Jesse watch along. Yeah, 50 years ago today. Yeah, there's a new documentary, as they are seeing that. I've not watched that video yet, to be honest. I was watching the overlap with Paul Scholes on. It's tomorrow. Right, okay, so it's Friday. Oh, that's great then. We will be there. We will be there. Because I've got a show at 6 anyway, and then I've got... So we can do that. We can do that, actually. I might do a live reaction. I'm going to do Hull versus Blades as well on the night. Leeds, Burnley. There's some Premier League football Saturday night. Oh, I can't wait. The return of the return of fantasy football. So yeah, I know that's not the league on it, but big up. I don't know who does this, but yeah, Friday content. We'll be there. We'll be there. Angus along. Yeah. So tomorrow, do we win Saturday? It's going to be tough because we haven't had much time to repair. But yeah, why not prepare? Farke spoke on Burnley, and that's the next point we're going to touch on. He said, you know, because I think it was Tim Thornton, maybe it was the Sky guy who said about how is it being your like first real test, and he said I think even the first games were really big tests. We had a away game at West Brom, which again now with hindsight I think we all look at differently and say, okay, yeah, it made sense. And I think Farke and Carlos Corberán would have shook hands on a 0-0 before that game. Because they're in second, we're in fourth, you know. He says, but away game at West Brom was unbelievably difficult. They're more settled and less fluctuation than us and Burnley. So every game is a challenge, and Burnley is without doubt one of the best sides in the league. very experienced coach, mature players, one of the big contenders for winning the title. They've had a top start as well. Little setback in the last game, but overall we will know it will be a tough task. Lots of individual quality within their team, lots of experienced players in central positions, Josh Brownhill, etc. We have to be at our best. It's tricky when 13 players are away, but at least we have a home game. Early kickoff on Saturday. Would have wished for a later kickoff, but it is what it is. We want to stay unbeaten with good defending and want to win with as many points as possible. That's what I expect Gruev and Ampadu to start in midfield in this game, just to give us that extra solidity. Can't do right off watching my Irish team I support tomorrow night. No worries. We will do the members show though. Members show. So yeah, Burnley will be tough, but you know, we will be there. We will be there. Asked about the number 10 and if there was scope to do something different. This was what Graham mentioned, because we know he'd mentioned about the number 10 and whether or not he was happy with that, etc. He said, it's important you do not change your whole principles or processes. We stick to our beliefs because injuries will change personnel and your principles cannot change quickly for each and every player change. Perhaps we do not have a rutter player, but we have different options across these different roles. You want to be flexible and have different scenarios. We have played with a goal scorer like Pirro at 10 or someone good against the ball too, which is Brendan Aronson. We keep going with what we've got. We are unbeaten so far. I think the experiment of Pirro in the 10, the goal scorer in the 10 doesn't work. Not in this setup, not for me. And Aronson, who's better against the ball, works better because then obviously I think as well it gives us, there's not as much of a gap between, say, an Ampadu and Gruev. Do you know what I mean? It just brings it all in line a little bit more. And we know that technically Aronson's very good on the ball. Has that low centre of gravity, can get himself out of tight situations. Okay, no one's as good as Rutter. But that thing of Pirro doesn't work. And we even see Nonto play there for Italy, I think. I think he played in the 10 as well for Italy. So we've got options there. But I think he'll go with Aronson for the time being until something changes. But I'm thinking, feeling good. Yeah, that experiment should have ended last season. It should have, Jamie. I agree. Farke on reassuring fans there will be no further outgoings, and I think this was probably in relation to the Max Vober stuff because windows are still open elsewhere. And he said, I haven't really thought about this, to be honest. Never say never, but we're not tempted. Our group is not too big right now. 99.9% we will not lose any players. So I don't think anyone's going anywhere. He spoke about Ao Tanaka. For someone earlier on who said he didn't really talk him up, but he did say, I tried 12 months ago to sign him. We all know we were linked. I was desperate. I followed him. He caught my eyes in the second tier previously when I worked in Germany. I'm fully convinced of his qualities. So this is talking up. Good age, tidy on the ball, good passing skills, and can score goals. Out of number 8 role, he has scored and assisted. He plays the second last pass. I really like him. We like to dominate the game and possession, and he's good with the ball and he is smart. It's the same for him. It's a big honour and a big challenge to have him move to England. He's desperate to play with us. Yeah. So talked him really up. He also said he was a similar profile to Joe Rothwell, which we'll touch on, because what that does show me is that Rothwell was always the bench option. You know what I mean? He was always the bench option. It feels like eventually it's going to be Ampadu and one of Rothwell, or, well, Rothwell's your third option. But I think eventually it's going to be Ao and Ampadu. I think it'll be Ao Tanaka and Ampadu in midfield. But he said, yeah, a bit same like Isaac, but Isaac hasn't played on the top level for a while. Obviously, he comes from the... a bit same like Isaac. He hasn't played on the top level for a while. Obviously, he comes from the second tier in Germany, so we'll have to give him time to adapt. But the first glimpses are promising. I liked his cameo. He's shown he's got good passing choices, good sense of humour. Really like him. Good to have him around. It's difficult to predict right now. We will have the best midfielder in the league. There is lots of competition in that position. But the fact that he's even having a conversation to say, oh, it's difficult to say now whether we've got the best midfielder in the league. But, you know, he's close. He's close. So, yeah, good to have around. It's difficult to predict now whether he'll be the best midfielder in the league. There is lots of competition in his position. He was not so much in the spotlight so far, but I'd like to mention Joe Rothwell. He's not played one bad pass. I like his skills, and in pre-season, together with Joe out, I think we are really good in this position. So they're your number 8, you would imagine. Yeah. We are all happy. Out has finally arrived today. He was back after international duties at Fore Park. So you can tell with that. I don't think there's he spoke in there like, oh, he hadn't played at top level for a while, but everything else was just bigging him up. You know, the fact that the manager's come and sat there and said, I wanted him since last summer. You know, fully convinced of his qualities, tidy on the ball, good age, bam, character, everything about Al, he's on board with, right? So, and I think the mad thing is it's quickly been established at Leeds United from the fan base that we all sort of feel the same. And we've seen him for all but of 10 minutes, I think. It's all a bit mad, really, isn't it? It's all a bit mad. Yeah, I mean, he didn't do a good job of that. I don't think. Blaster, Susie, and didn't you lose Vinny Sousa, Lee? Didn't he go? Didn't he go? Was it Vinny Sousa? No, he stayed. Very good. But yeah. I mean, Sheffield United have a very good first 11. Very good first 11. I don't think the squad is as good as ours, but they have a very good first 11. Man for man, they would be players I would take, but they'd be players you'd take as well. So I do think they have a very good squad, a very good first 11. I think the best squads in the league are us and Burnley in terms of depth. Maybe Burnley Pippers, maybe even Sheffield United. Very good 11. Outside of that, not good. But yeah, we'll wait and see, won't we? We'll wait and see. That's all we can do. There's a long way to go yet. There is a long way to go yet. So yeah, we will have a lot of tab players on Saturday. Just hope it doesn't work against us like it. Yeah, listen, I think we should have enough. We should have enough to take on Burnley. That's my hope, because we're at home. The impetus will be on us to attack. And listen, bar Southampton against the better teams in the division last season, we did really well. It was the lesser teams we struggled against. Burnley will want to come and have a go. I think that means it might end up being quite transitional, and we'll have a go. And I think we have the quality in the forward areas of the pitch to take our chances and win the game. We all saw how good Ipswich were, for example, and we scored like 8 goals against them. We beat Leicester twice, scoring 4 goals against our 1. You know, Southampton, obviously, they had the number, but again, it was the way that they played. It was the way that they played that we couldn't do that. But yeah. Bad time to play Burnley though. Why, Jack? Do you think because after the international break for us, or what's your thinking behind that? A week between Burnley and Cardiff, get through Saturday, and there's a week to get our shit together again after the break. Yeah. Joseph, no talk about him. He's gone if we don't go Bamford return, isn't it? I don't know where you're getting all that from, to be honest. Yeah, I know. I don't know how many Burnley had. Like, is there a way to tell? Is there a site I can use? I'm just trying to look now. 14, you know. Oh no, that's March. That's March of 2024. 1 day ago. Right here. Burnley. Goal, clean. 1 sec. Goal, clean sheet, and injury scare. How Burnley's international stars got on during the international break. Let's have a look how many they've got. A handful of players have represented their country. Scott's Parker's side, I'll tell you now, right? So, Connor Roberts, who picked up a knock. So he played the full 90 minutes. He's picked up a knock. Lyle Foster scored South Africa's opening goal. And then he played 86 minutes. Summer signing Andreas Hutonji came off the bench during Benai's 3-0 defeat to Nigeria. Who else is there? Loney Jeremy Sarmiento and his 22nd cap for Ecuador. James Trafford played for England under 21s. Zeki Amedouni came off the bench during Switzerland's 2-0 defeat to Denmark. And he's on loan anyway at Benfica. So yeah, they haven't had nowhere near as many as us. That's for sure. So yeah, maybe not the best time to play them. For sure, but we will be there. No, he did pick up an injury, mate. According to a Burnley fan on Connor's channel earlier on, what's that? Egan. Oh, is John Egan gone to Burnley? Has he? I did not know this. That's where my man is. Oh, okay. Just been trying to get that. Right, okay. Fair. Seems right. Okay, cool. All good, Jasper. All good, mate. All good in the hood. Yeah, man. So according to a Burnley fan on Connor's channel earlier, Egan isn't even close. Cool. There you go. People saying our bench is a bit weak, really. Who? Leeds? No. Definitely not. But we will be there. Anyways, brothers and sisters, listen, we will be back at 6 o'clock to discuss White Rose Rivals. Obviously, look ahead to the weekend's games, which I'm excited for. Please, of course, smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and get your comments in, hit that notification bell, all that jazz. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Dan James is out, big one. Outside of that, we're good. Bamford's back. Happy days for some. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Oh, I'm actually live at 4 o'clock on Joe's channel. 4 o'clock, Joe. He's doing his podcast and he's asked me to go on there. I'm not sure who else is on, but I will be there at 4 o'clock. So hopefully see you all there. Enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out now. Bye-bye.